Hi all, Cara Revels Crittenton here, aka Miss Success. And today I wanted to talk to you about the people that you keep company with, who you surround yourself with. Who are your friends, family, co-workers? Who are the people that you hang out with on a consistent basis? And how do those people affect your life? Well, I'm sure your mom or dad or some family member told you when you were a kid, birds of a feather flock together. So as a kid, you're thinking, what the heck do birds have to do with my choice of friends? I don't get it, right? Well, if you hang around with chickens, you're not going to fly. So, what I mean by that is people that have like a chicken little mentality. They're afraid of everything. The sky's always falling. Everything is like this big deal. They're always worrying about one thing or another thing. They're very negative. They're naysayers. You say black, they say white. They just have this really, really small-minded chicken attitude. Well, if you want to soar and you want to fly, you're going to have to get around some eagles. Eagles make their nest high up in the mountains, right? High on a perch where all the other birds can't reach them. So why is that important? Well, I always say, my sphere of influence is huge. I affect a lot of people in my life, and I'm glad about that. But my circle is really tight. My circle of who I consider a friend and a confidant, an ally, is really tight. And my inner circle, it's got a padlock on it, honey. So, and the reason for that is everyone does not just necessarily not have your best interest at heart, because there's, we all know there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of negative people out there and all that kind of stuff. And that's always going to be. But even some people that seemingly have your best interest at heart, they may not always know what's best for you. They may just not understand you. I run into that problem, sometimes where people they don't get me. I'm a very driven person. When I make up my mind about something, I go with it. One of my sisters says I am like a dog with a bone. When I get a hold of something, I just refuse to let it go. And that's true, especially if it's something good. Now, I don't hold on to negative things. I'm not a person that can hold a grudge. I can't stay mad long. Usually I just say whatever I have to say and I'm done with it. But when I find something good, or when I get excited about something, which is not really often that I get really super excited about something. But when I do, I hold on to that thing. And you know why? Because it's so easy for us to lose sight of the things that are important and, what we focus on a daily basis. But when you are hanging around with people, you need to really choose your friends and your companions wisely. Because, the older we get, the more, hopefully the wiser, hopefully the wiser we're getting as we're getting older, Well, I feel like I am, but, everybody's not. But the reason it's so important is because you have things that you want to accomplish in your life. You have goals that you want to achieve. You may have some wild idea that you personally think is a great idea. And maybe it is a great idea. But if you're around the wrong people, they're not going to see that idea. They're just going to see you as being crazy or being out there, or you spend too much time, working, or you spend too much time doing whatever it is they don't want you to do because they want you to do something else, because maybe their vision is not as big as your vision is. So that's okay. Listen, we are all entitled to have whatever level of success that we want in our lives. We are all entitled to have the amount of money that we want in our lives. We're entitled to, go wherever we want to go in this life. Especially those of us, in the United States. We have so many freedoms that people around the world don't even have. So it's not everywhere that you can even necessarily choose who you're going to work around, but you can choose who you let influence you. So let me put it that way. You can choose who you let influence you. And you need to teach your children this. I'm really passionate when I talk about teaching your kids things, because if you look even at your own life, a lot of who you are and how you are today is based on how your parents raised you. If they raised you to be, very afraid of the world, and, most parents are very loving and they don't mean uh, to hold us back. But some parents do because they're afraid, and they're afraid because of this little thing called paradigms, which basically means things that we get that are handed down from generation to generation to generation. We do things a certain way. We don't even know why we do them. It's just the way, our ancestors or parents did it. So one little illustration of that is a little story about the woman who's cooking a ham. And she gets the ham and she cuts the ends off the ham. So her husband says, honey, how come you always cut the ends off the ham? She goes, I don't know, because my mom always did. So she goes to her mom and she says, Mom, how come you always cut the ends off the ham? She goes, I don't know. That's the way Grandma always did it. So I do it the way Grandma did it. So she goes, So she goes and asks her Grandma, Grandma, why do you always cut the ends off the ham when you cook the ham? And the grandmother said, well, because when I first got married to your grandfather, we didn't have a lot of money. So I couldn't afford a lot of pots. The only pan that I had was too small for the ham to fit in. So I had to cut the ends off the ham so that it would fit the pan. Well, of course, this girl had no reason to cut the ends off the ham other than she'd seen it done for generations. So that's exactly how our paradigms and things are shaped in life. We have a lot of things that are just handed down to us. And if you were taught to be afraid, or you were taught to not take a risk, or, don't go out too far because this bad thing will happen or that bad thing will happen. And of course, this is life. Everything's not going to be perfect. Some bad things are going to happen. I mean, that's life. But it's what we put in our minds. Think more about all the things that could go right instead of the things that could go wrong. So that'll be another story for another day. But right now, we're just talking about making those choices of who you let into your life, who you let influence you and influence your decisions and your decision making and your choices. And, so many things, people scale back their dreams and their goals and all that all the time because of the people they're around. Even kids in school. My daughter was telling me the other day, that how some kids, and this is common knowledge, I guess, they don't want to be the smart kid. Thank God my kids, they're honor students. They make good grades and all that kind of stuff because they've been taught to excel. But a lot of kids have been taught, not necessarily said, but by actions, you don't want to be too smart because, whatever, you're going to be a nerd and all this kind of stuff. So that happens as we grow up and as we become adults. A lot of those things are still stuck in our heads. Not just the things our parents said. I mean, even well-meaning parents. Like I said, most parents do not mean to tell their kids, you can't do something, or scale back your dreams, or don't dream too big because you might fail. But a lot of times that's the message that we get as adults, as kids, and we carry that on into adulthood. So it's really important that you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, that are going somewhere in life, that are, T.D. Jakes one day said, if you are the smartest person in your circle's too small. So I love being smart, but, I'm always looking for someone who can teach me something, who can mentor me, who can help me to grow. And just even friends, I choose my friends so carefully. I have friends from every walk of life, but each one of those people teaches me something. They may not be the brainiest person in the world, or they may not be, what some people may have an idea of a certain level of success. And we're talking about material success in some ways. And then some of them are, super wealthy people, super influential, famous people. And these are all people that I call my friends. But they all do one thing. They all speak life to me. They all speak positivity to me. They all challenge me to challenge myself to come up to a higher level. So that's what you have to do in your own life. Don't let anybody teach you to help you, scale back your dreams. Don't let anybody convince you that you can't do something because you can. And don't let anybody take your power away from you. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. And, connect with me in the Power Network. Bye!